Hi there. Are you a brand online or a business owner online seeking to position yourself globally and you're wondering which is the best tool to use? I want to introduce to you something that you already know. It is called podcast. Yes, you can actually use podcasting as a tool to position yourself globally. And I know there is a lot of work that goes into podcasting, but that is exactly why that I have created this book. I wrote this book, published it. It's on Amazon. It's on the link that is connected to this video where I show you step by step how to start, grow, and monetize your podcast and also position yourself as a person of value or a person of authority or a business of value and authority in your field. So click on the link now to get a copy today. It promises to blow your mind. Hi there. Are you a brand online or a business owner online seeking to position yourself globally and you're wondering which is the best tool to use? I want to introduce to you something that you already know. It is called podcast. Yes, you can actually use podcasting as a tool to position yourself globally. And I know there is a lot of work that goes into podcasting, but that is exactly why that I have created this book. I wrote this on Amazon. It's on the link that is connected to this video where I show you step by step how to start, grow, and monetize your podcast and also position yourself as a person of value or a person of authority or a business of value and authority in your field. So click on the link now to get a copy today. It promises to blow your mind. All right. Thank you so much for joining today. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact. This is the energetic EJ, and it's exciting. Well, I'm excited. It's exciting. It's great to be here again today, this week. And actually, this is probably our 19th or 20th or 22nd week of doing this, which is Your Voice, Your Impact, which started a few months ago on Instagram. And then we're having a couple of challenges with the network on Instagram. And we decided, you know what, let's move to X. And then we did X for like 2 weeks. And you know what, it was also some hiccups. We're like, you know what, let's just go to the grandfather of all the platforms where, you know, we don't have all these hiccups coming and going. And so we decided to go on YouTube. And now we have expanded because as I speak to you right now, there are people watching on LinkedIn. Some people are watching on Facebook and, of course, on YouTube. So regardless of where you're watching from, you are welcome. Let me see in the comment section what platform you are connecting from so that I can say hi to you and also tell me if you're connecting from what country. Hello, Afiseva. Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. Great to have you here. Afiseva is connecting all the way from the UK. Where are you connecting from? I am connecting from Dubai, UAE, Dubai right now. And of course, okay, you were like, where is our sister? Where is our second half? Where is our colleague? She's right here in the studio with me. And I'm going to bring her up on stage right about in a few minutes from in about a minute from now. Yes, Afi Seva says connecting from YouTube. Thank you so much. Nigel, I see you, Omogarare. Thank you so much for being here, brother. It's great to have you here. So I'm going to bring up my co-host on stage, the one and only Grace. So amazing, so beautiful, so gorgeous. And guess what, guys? Special shout out to her because yesterday was her birthday. So still in the celebration mode, I'm going to deliver a birthday rendition for her right now. Are you ready?
I am.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday dear Gracie. Happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you and lift you higher and give you all the blessings that your heart desires.
Woo! Woo! Uh-uh. Too much talent. Come on
Oh my
now. Come on
goodness.
now. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
goodness.
much.
Oh my goodness. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. Happy birthday to you. Long live the queen. So amazing, Grace. Thank you for
Thank
being a blessing to this generation. Thank you for being a sister, a true friend, a companion, a fellow coach who is so passionate about changing lives. Thank you for
you.
challenging me to come on this journey, on this Your Voice, Your Impact, and challenging me every week in, week out to show up regardless of how we're feeling, what the schedule is. You're just that constant support system. And I just want to celebrate the grace of God upon your life. So amazing it is indeed. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Afiseva, for joining the celebration. Yes, Grace is truly so amazing. She is a true sister. She is a true friend. And yeah, thanks. So I'm grateful to God for doing life with you at a time such as this. So let us do this. Okay, so usually for those of you joining us for the first time, um when we come up like this, we would always what's the word now, start with introductions, and because again, we it's like we just believe, see, why we're doing this is we know we have a voice and our voice is meant for impact, and we know that from time to time not the same set of people are going to watch us week in, week out. So because of that, we make it a point of duty to kind of introduce ourselves or reintroduce ourselves every time we come up here. So I'm going to open the floor. Hi guys, welcome. This is the energetic EJ. I'm a coach, I'm a podcaster, and I'm an event host, right? With coaching, I help women, career entrepreneur women in their 40s and above. Yes, I love the mamas. I don't know why, maybe because I am one. I just love mamas. There's something about them. They're such nurturers that most times they have nurtured everyone except themselves. And so at that stage in life where they are now 40 and above, they begin to see, oh my God, I have spent all this time nurturing everybody except it's time for me to look within. It's time for me to live for me. But it's like, okay, how do I start? Where do I start from? What do I need to do? How do I do it? How do I connect the dots? And that's where I'm here, to help them connect that dot. So that's young girl in them that dreamt, I wanted to be an astronaut. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm like, I've not done any of those things. Oh my God, I'm 40 plus. I'm here. Yes, my job as a coach is to help them, is to handhold them, is to support them, is to cheer them on, is to give them, that support that they need as a coach to tap into that little girl in them to help them reconnect to their dreams so that they can live a more happier and more fulfilling life. And that's what I do as a coach. As a podcaster, I podcast at Stretch Street Podcast, where I document the stretch stories of people with the intention or the goal to draw out the life lessons that these learned from those challenging seasons that they've been through. And as an event host, yes, both virtually and in person, I am that event host, that MC, that moderator, that brings life, the energy. Of course, they don't call me the energetic Egypt for nothing. No, I bring the energy to the room. So if you're looking for a vibrant, energetic MC, event host, virtually or in person, I'm your girl. Holla at your girl. All right, I'm gonna drop the mic right now and pass it on to Grace. So amazing. Give it to us. I see the hearts.
I'm going to be very gentle today because I am still
Like I'm talking all
happy.
this.
Your energy is enough for the two of us. Ah,
Excuse me.
it's enough. Alrighty, hi everyone. My name is Grace. So amazing. I am a life and personal development coach. I am also a cognitive behavioral therapist and the founder of an NGO called Friends to Lean On Global Foundation. So, what I do basically as a coach is I help individuals that are ready to move from where they are in three critical areas of their lives: health and wellness, business and career, and family, to that level where they would be highly productive. And how do I do that? I help them build systems so that they enjoy the process of achieving their goals while having fun doing it. So that's what I do for my clients. And also, the foundation that I run is the one where we educate people on mental and emotional wellness. And I'm very, very, very happy to be doing this with my co host and sister. Your voice, your impact is one of the ways that we are giving, that we are also creating impact. So if you're watching this, and or if you're going to be watching this later, it is my pleasure to be here doing this and having conversations week in, week out, just for one reason: to help people know what they can do with the gift that they have. Over to you, my energetic EJ.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Guys, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. When she start talking now, that's when you will know this that she's taking it cool. It's just like she doesn't want to struggle with my initial energy. Like, no, oh EJ, why are you so pumped up? Okay, let me cool it down. Is it like when she starts talking, you understand? All right. So yeah. Welcome to the event and to the show today. So like she said, why would do your voice your impact is because we just know that again, this is our own way of impacting our world while using our voices. And we're using this to also give you permission to do the same thing because we know that you do have a voice, you have a message, you are an expert in the field, you're knowledgeable in a particular area, and there are people who would be glad and feel blessed to learn from your wealth of knowledge. All right. And so in doing this ourselves, we keep being oiled. We keep being engine oiled, right? We keep our own engine burning. We keep our engine running because then we need to prepare for these sessions mentally, physically, emotionally, and that keeps us on our toes, which makes us better humans, better coaches, better friends to you all. So today we're talking about identity. Um
Mm.
and this is a segue from last week conversation. So last week conversation we're just having a coaching conversation on the show, and we're talking about um validation, people seeking the rise in the level of validation seeking. And it came up as we were having that conversation to say that, what, one of the reasons that people are then they find themselves addicted, because all of us kind of need some level of validation in our lives, truly. But when we now get to that point where we become very addicted, it could tie back to how we identify ourselves. What is our identity? And that's why we said, what, next week, which is now, we're going to talk about this concept of identity. How do you know who you are? And how can you connect to what you want in life and stand for something that people can relate to? How can you tap into your own potential, the one that you carry, the one that the creator has deposited inside of you? How do you show up with that without having to, be constantly in a state of emergency, unsure of who you are, how you want to appear in life, or what you want in life? Because again, I believe, after being a human being for a couple of decades, you know that from time to time you face that identity crisis. There are a couple of things that can cause you to get into that place where you ask yourself, like, who am I? Like, Who am I? Why am I here? What do I really want? After this thing
Mm.
that has happened to me, after this experience that I've had, what do I really want out of life? You know, so there are phases, there are things that we go through in life that will make us ask those questions. So what we want to do today is just generally talk about, identity, how to support you as coaches, to say, okay, these are some things that you can do to begin to fine tune your identity. These are some tools you can use that can help you to understand yourself better so that you can, know how to appear better in life. All right. So, I'm going to start off with just like a definition of identity, and then I'll let Gracie. Gracie is such a deep woman. Anyway, if you're listening to her for the first time, welcome, and thank you for joining us again. So, identity is a set of characteristics, right? Is our character, our value system, our belief system, our experiences, right? That defines who we are as a person, as a group of people, as a race, cultures, all of these things are things that come together to shape who we are. Our upbringing, our environment, our relationship, our personal choices, knowing all of these things and how they tie together can help us shape who we are or who and what we identify as. Coach Grace, over to you.
Thank you so much. And this topic is very critical, and critical in the sense that one's identity. So this is what we're going to be having. This conversation is going to, help us broaden our horizons. There's a level to my understanding when it comes to identity, and I also believe that you watching this right now is going to also um what I'll be saying might touch some things that you've always known about identity and all that. So it's all good. No information, like we say, whatever information we have per time is
Mm.
okay. That is what you have been able to gather for yourself in that particular that particular period. So it's very fine. And I'm saying this because it is very crucial. So identity for me, first thing, when they say, okay, so here in Nigeria there was a time that they were catching. So this is where I want to come in from. They would just catch all these guys and they'll ask them, identify yourself, you know.
Mm.
And the next thing is what they are saying is come up with an ID card. Again, here in Nigeria, there's something that we call NIN. So this NIN is supposed to help. Um, it's like a social security number that
Yeah.
just the way they have it in the US. So this thing is just to help you. Is to profile you in a way. Now, so having said all of these things that I've just mentioned, I want to now put it and niche it to a point where the question is, without a paper to show who you are, without a card to tell who you are, without anything, can you just stand and then you talk and then people just see you and they already have an idea that, this person, and it goes beyond even all these things come to play, which is where you're from, what you do, the things that you faced in life and everything. It is way beyond all those things. There is a unique thing about identity that is so unique that it oozes, it smells like, when they say this particular person is here, they can 1 million people can identify that. Yes, nice person. So I am coming from a place where I would say identity is your uniqueness.
Mm.
Identity is the you that is not seen in anybody else, including the people that you share your blood, your your culture, your everything with. Identity is what you have discovered about yourself that you want the whole world to know that this is who you are. this is what you represent, and this is why you are here. Identity is complex. It's complex because at different stages, you yourself would even discover some things about you that you never knew existed, because you have exposed yourself to new learnings, and you have exposed yourself to something very different, that you just see yourself, doing some things, and you ask yourself, I don't know, say I get this kind of thing. Oh. Identity is you evolving while maintaining your authentic self. In the world today, we have the opportunity to learn, copy, and do things that other people are doing. But there is something that makes it all different, and that's your identity. Like I said, your identity cuts across a lot of things. It's like your social security number without the number. It is like your NIN without the ID card. It is something that brings you out of the crowd. So over to you, my dear sister.
That is so, the level that you brought it from is so deep, and it gets me thinking like, wow, that's deep because again, yes, it's from what you said, it's like the core of who you are. Your identity is like your DNA. And that's why no other person is like you. No other
Okay.
person can be like you. Again, even if they clone you, it's still a clone. It's not you.
It's a clone. It's not you. If you
It
not be
ain't
you, if
you.
you not be,
It's not
there's a
the
way they
it's
say
not
that
the
thing.
Panadol. It no
It
fit
not
be
gonna be.
like Panadol. If it ain't you, it ain't you. And again, I think that is something that when we understand and embrace it in the core, it keeps us grounded and unshakable and immovable. And I love when you said it is you evolving without losing your essence. It is you growing without jeopardizing that thing that makes you authentic and unique.
Mm,
And that is so powerful because that is what will actually make you last, make your impact significant, and make you stand out from the crowd. So, Coach Grace, talking about that depth of identity, how can one get to that place? Because I also love when you said we're all growing and we all um, get to know a newer version of us per time, especially when we are on a very, very intentional journey. You begin to see it. Literally, you said something I said to myself about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like something happened, I reacted one way, and I'm like, what? I cannot believe that I
mm,
still have this level of this thing in me. I cannot. I was like, my God. But it took
mm,
an external force to punch out that thing from within me. But it's there. So it's been lying
mhm,
dormant. But I had nothing to trigger it. So I didn't know it was there until that event occurred. So, how then can we get to that depth where we as individuals now, because I feel like when we are all individually responsible to understand who we are and to embrace who we are in our core, it's now, it has a trickle effect on how it affects the society.
yeah.
But if the moment you begin to abdicate, I'm like this because this person did this to me, I'm like this because, then if we're not taking that responsibility, it's going to still affect, it's going to spread like that. How do we get to that point where we come to this place where we understand who we are and our identity?
So who you are is consistent. Who you are is
Mm,
consistent. Even if you copy this person, copy that person, who you are in your real core is consistent. I said something last week that because of the noise, and it happens to the best of us, because we learn by watching. We our brain is like a magnet, especially if you've exposed yourself to a particular thing for a period. You just know, you just see yourself mimicking. human
mm,
beings are human beings are natural mimickers. I don't know. We
Absorbers.
absorbers. No, there's a way I want to put it that will make that okay. So let me put it like this. We human beings, now only us go sabi swim. We no be fish, but we learn how to swim and we can swim. But um, naturally, uh, the 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 creature that was created to swim are fishes, sharks, all those things. We have creatures that their natural habitat is water. But we human beings, we've been able to learn to swim. Does it mean that we are fishes? No. What sets us apart is even though we know how to swim, there is a level we can get to because it's not our natural habitat.
Habitat.
But
Mm.
can we do it? Yes, we can do it. So, what I'm saying in essence is that as human beings, we have so much capabilities and we have so much um, abilities, and our ability is our ability to learn. Our ability to learn. So, to answer your question, what is that thing that will help us know our core? Right? Did I get your question right? Can you remind me your question so that I'm not twisting it?
Yes, like in your identity, like how do we get to that point where we can know, where we can get to the core of who we are?
Okay. All right. So I said something that your real you is consistent.
Yeah.
Even if you try this, you try that, you see there's one thing. So understanding your pattern is number one. Understanding your pattern. So your pattern is number one, the way you do things.
Mm.
Number two, the feedback that you get about your core. See, they said the mirror does not see itself, but you notice that people are always telling you a particular thing about you. So when people continue to tell you this thing about yourself, even if you don't see it, but they say the voice of man, is the voice of God. You start to see that this thing, when they do they talk this thing about me, be like say, you keep that one in one place. You don't take everything verbatim, you just take it and keep it. And then
Mm.
number one, you understand your pattern. When I mean your pattern, the way you do things, the things that comes to you naturally, the things that you find yourself um you find very easy. It may not be easy because I have a new knowledge about your passion comes to you naturally. I don't think so, right? The things that, because you can be very passionate about some things and you are not in the mood, you be like, no, not now. Whoa, whoa, whoa." So it's not always easy, even though some of these things come to you naturally. It's not always
Mm.
easy. You still
Easy.
need to put in effort. That is
Yeah.
why you have to plant, you have to water, you have to do so. Your ability to learn and your ability to be consistent would help you know what you are about. So recently, even my brother-in-law said that thing yesterday. When they were talking about tell us what you know about grace, and he said there's something about grace that when you want to confuse her with other things, like this is what is going on now, this is what they're, grace has a way of telling you that even though these things are, this is what I'm doing now, and
Right.
I'm giving it the right amount to be able to know that when I eventually leave it, I'll know that I gave it my all, I did this,
All.
I flipped it, I flip it. But what we see these days is that we are not able to really understand our identity, some parts of us, because we're very quick to trash and move to the next big thing. And that's why I have a
Mm.
problem with everybody they do and everybody they do and everybody they do 'em, right? You can still be your authentic self doing that same thing, that thing that everybody they do 'em, but your unique self will stand you out. I don't know how to say this because the thing is so practical. It's happening so well these days that I'm like, God, I beg. I hope. Sometimes I sit down, I'm like, I hope I'm not doing this thing because other people are
Everybody's
doing it,
doing it.
right? I hope I'm doing this because, like now, social media. So let me give a very practical example because my core is I am a scientist and I like, for people to be able to see things practically. Um, what we were doing now on social media.
Yeah.
Um, Before now, I would say that I'm not the one to be, you know, I wouldn't want to be popular, or I wouldn't want to be, but the what I have that I want the world to know is stronger than my fear of being popular or my fear of being this thing. Do you understand what I mean? So before you know, I'm on social media. So the thing is that I am not on social media because everybody is on social media. I am on social media because there is something that I have to give, that I'm using social media as a tool. So this is just an example. I don't know if it flies, but the
Absolutely. It
point
does.
is the point is your core, whatever it is that you're doing, will not change. Even though you are doing what every other person is doing, your unique self will be shown. They'll say, this person. And one way to close this particular thing, one way to end it is that when I said the voice of God is the voice of men is the voice of
Man.
God, you hear it again and again from other people. I don't say where I don't see this. I don't see this thing for your body, this thing. And all of
Yes.
these things that I'm saying is your pattern, your unique self, the things that you do. So there was something like I saw with Ejiro. I've known Ejiro for close to 4 5 years, or 4 years, and there's something very unique that I think we share in common, which is her message, her consistency. It's not everybody. You see, somebody sent me a message yesterday on my birthday, and she said that, Grace, there's something that I like about you, that even though you don't get as much engagement on some of your write-ups on social media, it doesn't stop you from posting every other day. I said, yes, my goal is the message should be there. I want the message there. Then chat under am no, even though it is important. So it is very important that we know why we do certain things, so that from what we said last time, validation, and so that it is not that one that will now stop you from
Going
knowing
on.
your real
Yeah.
your
Or
your
doing
real
what you need
self.
to do.
So to
Absolutely.
wrap it to wrap this particular thing up, flip it. Open yourself to new learnings. Open yourself to to things that you didn't even know that you could do, or things that you're like, this is not for me, this is not for me. By the time you do it, flip it, make sure you do it, go round, and be sure that, yes, so I've done it round, and I know that this one, no, it's not for my personality type, it's not for the kind of person that I am. I cannot, go on with it. It will help you to know what you're about.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. What I would say to that to say that, again, because what we're talking about again is, let me just put that on the screen so that, people can remember. This is what we're talking about: identity, and how to know who you are and what you want. And Grace has just said it, like, see, you need to, what was it you just said now? Talking about, why did this thing just fly out of my head now? What did you just say?
Like
God.
putting yourself making yourself learn, have the ability to learn and see yourself doing things
Patterns, yes.
consistently.
Exactly. Knowing your patterns. And
Your
there is
pattern.
no way, yeah, there is no way under heavens that you're going to know your pattern if you don't pay
Did
attention.
somebody write it? Did somebody write it? Or it came,
It
you
came, it
remembered?
came. I remembered.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay.
It came. So again, it's that, see, there is no way you can know your pattern if you don't reflect. So again, I feel like the foundation of it is you actually being interested in understanding, okay, who am I? Miles Monroe will say, like, those are like about 5 questions like that. Who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? What am I meant to do? And then how am I, the who and why question. But when we apply that to ourselves and talking on the top subject of identity, is to say, who am I and why do I do the things that I do? So
Mm.
it's a combination of everything. And that's why
Yeah.
great books like, Tim Layer's Why We Do the Things We Do is very important, to know, okay, what are my temperament? And again, we're not trying to box you. And when I talk about this, personality things and all of that, it is not to box you. It is not to
Mm.
label you. It is not to write you like you are this or that. No. But
Yeah.
those tools are very important because they are like a starting point. It's like when you want to, if you want to start journaling, you need to first of all at least start from, okay, what type of journal do I want to journal? Am I going to be doing question based journal, or am I going to be doing diary based journal? Do you get what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
that with the personality test and all of those, tests you can take to understand who you are and your wiring. It helps set the foundation. It helps set the stage. It helps you because sometimes you don't even know the questions to ask to be able to draw out the answers that you are seeking. Sometimes if I sit down and ask you, like, why did you do this thing you did? You'll be like, I just did it. Why? You don't even know. For some people, it's like, that's how they say we should do it. It reminds me
Mm.
of the story of the woman who every time she wants to fry a sausage, she chops off the top and the bottom, and then she fries it. And one day, the child asked, like, "Mommy, why do you do it that way?" Thank God for kids. We should learn from kids, right?
Yeah.
Why
A
did you do it
grandma.
that way? And she's like, that's how my mom did it. Like, okay, why did your mom, like, how did grandma do it? Luckily enough, grandma was still alive. So they called grandma, like, grandma, why do you always chop off your sausages before you fry them? And grandma was like, at the time when I was doing that, my frying pan was very tiny. So the only way for the sausage to get into it is for me to chop it off so that I can get there. Do you see? But because she did not ask questions, she just carried on the tradition. So imagine how many traditions, how many mindsets, how many perspective in life that we've carried on or passed on just simply because we did not question it
Mm.
to say why. And I know it's one of the hardest things to do, reflection, especially self reflection. It is easy for you to analyze other people. I know why she did it now. Is it not because that she's proud? Is it not because her father has money? Is it not because she has nice husband? Is it not because she's work? It's easy for you to analyze other people. But when it comes to yourself, you need to this is where discipline comes. Like, you need to get to that point. It is not going to be fun at first. It's not going to be easy as well, because try it out. The first time I like intentionally sat with myself, like, hey Joya, why did you do this? Like, asking that question of 5 levels, it is hard. It's like you are
Yeah.
pinching yourself, but it is a skill that can be learned. It is something that you can grow in. And when you are able to reflect into that realm of depth, then it can help you see the patterns. But then again, I will always say, see, why like go through that scrutiny is like it's like going in back in the days where there was no facilities for CS, the way that they would give birth, have the midwives to come and do the birthing and everything. Well, right now people can actually, women can opt and say, actually, I don't want to go through the normal, but please just schedule me. I want to do CS, right? Because the tools are there now. So for me, that's how I see these tools that can help you set the stage for you to say, oh, this is it. This is what this report has said about me. And then you look at it and look at your life and say, okay, oh, really? Okay. Then what can I do about it? How can I begin to mold this into the image that I really want? And that is the
Yeah.
beauty of us being humans, the flexibility that comes with us, the fact that we can choose the direction which we want to go in life, how we want to evolve, right? So even if you do a test today now and the test shows you this, even in cases of health, for example, if you're diagnosed of cancer, it's not like immediate, like, okay, it is done. We have heard and seen of people who beat cancer. Why? Because they had the right attitude. They had the right mindset to say, okay, this is the result. This is what my body is saying. What can I do to elongate the time that this body can still stay here? And we've seen people literally beat cancer, stage 3, stage 4, right? But at the same time, there are people who just the symptom stage, they are given that report and they carry the report and own it, and it
Yeah.
ends there. Do you see what I mean? It's the same way. So that's why I feel like it's important as we talk about the identity thing. What are some tools? You see, what are some tools that you can use, right? What are some tools that you can use to help you on this journey of discovering your identity, who you are, knowing what you want what you want, why you do the things you do, how you do them. And I would just like to highlight one or two as we begin to wrap up this session. The first one that really comes to mind is the wheel of life. And I love that one. It is it is such a powerful tool that can help you, you know, take stock of where you are at right now in your life, right? It helps you take stock of where you are. So you look at all the different areas from the wheel of life and say, okay, in this area, what am I doing? Where am I at? What can I do? What's going on here? And by you knowing what's going on there, you are able to then say, okay, let me let me work on this. Another tool that I would say, in fact, if you check the description of this particular video, especially on I think on Facebook and on YouTube, you'd see some of the resources there. So please read the description and go through the resources and use those as tools, foundational tools that you can use to build upon in recognizing who you are, your identity, and what you represent. There is the Johari window, and I love that one so much. I love the Johari window because it talks about the four quadrants. The four quadrants. Quickly, let me just see. I don't know if I can share. I wanted to share my screen to show you, but I'm not sure if I can do that right now. But again, is I would actually try if I can. So give me a few minutes while I fetch the document. Um, it shows you, a means of understanding, who you are, and this can be, done to help you build trust with other people, maybe like in a team kind of setting. Um, Okay, so I think I'm going to share a couple of things. We'll have this. Um, okay, I think I can't. I don't know where I kept it now. So all right. Sorry about that. I wanted to show it to you so that you can have an idea and you can go ahead and work on something for yourself when it comes to, that tool. It's a practical tool that can really help you to see, what some of the things that you need to know about yourself when it comes to understanding your identity. So basically the Johari window has four quadrants: what you know about yourself, and what other know about you. So for example, me and Grace, we are both extroverted people, right? People who knows us knows that. We also know it, right? So that's one quadrant. The other quadrant is what others know about me that I don't know. That's your blind spot.
Mhm.
And you can only if you only have people who are honest, who can give you radical candor. That's like if you have people in your life who can call your BS in your front, cherish them, because those people are going to help you. They will help you see your blind spot. They will help you see the things you're doing that you don't even realize that you're doing. That's to the second quadrant. The third quadrant is the hidden one. You know there's this thing, but other people don't know that about you. And then the fourth
Mm.
quadrant is what you don't know and what other people don't know about you. So again, you can go and look for this resource and use it. And the last I'm going to mention is the SWOT analysis. So you have SWOT analysis for your business and everything, but there's also the personal one where you can analyze yourself, know your strength, know your weaknesses, know your threats, know your opportunities. All of this would help you to come to a place where you now understand that, okay, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. And I think the bottom line and the foundation and the connecting that will help you now use all of these resources to grow is your mindset. You need to embrace the growth mindset, which makes you know that you are elastic as a human. You can flow anywhere you want. Even if you're like this today, you can decide and say, going forward, this is who I want to be. And you can begin to work towards that. And I hope that with these few points of mine, I've been able to, we've been able to add some value to you. But again, before we rush out, I know Grace has to go now. But before we rush out, please let me know in the comment section if you have any question, contribution quickly before we round this up. But thank you so much for being here. And I really do hope that with the conversation we've had today, you go back and, again, because this is actually a great time to do this. The year is coming to an end. We're preparing for the new calendar year. Of course, it might not be a new season for you. For some people, an old season is still ongoing, which will probably get into the new calendar year. So that's fine. But if for any reason your calendar year and your season in your own life aligns, and it's like you're wrapping things up now so that you can open up things or get to the new level, or get to another stage in your life in the coming year, then this is the perfect time to reanalyze, to sit with yourself again and ask, who am I? Who am I? Who do I want to become? How do I want to show up in the coming year? What do I want to do differently? What am I currently doing? And there's this four quadrants again that I love to, remind myself of. What do I need to start doing based off of all this information that I've heard, that I've seen, that I'm going to, engage with again? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to do more of? And what do I need to do less of? All right. So, Grace, do you have anything to complete this session? Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. I can't hear you. Do you have anything to round off the session? I need to let you go.
Yes, I do, and I think we still have I think we still have room to talk about this next week,
Okay.
and I'm saying this because it is important. All right, so one of the reasons why we do this is to help people, live optimally and to be in a wonderful state of mind, coming from the
Mm,
mental health point of view. There is something called identity crisis, and sometimes we are at different stages in life where we meet that identity crisis. So it might be a case of you have been doing things that people probably forced you, and this starts from when we were kids,
mhm,
having parents wanting us to do something that we don't want to do. It goes a long way. So I think today is not enough for us. I think we'll have a part two of this where we'll, go deep into talking about identity crisis
identity
and
crisis.
how,
And what causes
yes,
it and
and
how to manage
how
it.
exactly, and how some of the things that people are going through now can be traced to them having issues with their identity and things in that area. So I think we can continue from there next week. We can delve deep and talk about some of these things and how to be able to handle it when found in such situations. That's all from my end. Thank you so much. And like you rightly said, I need to run because I have some work to do. But I'll just stay till we close together.
All right. All right, fantastic. Thank you so very much. Guys, I really do hope that you've gotten some value from the session today. Please drop your feedback in the comment section of any of the platforms you're watching on. If you do have questions for us as well, you can drop it on the comment section. You can slide into the DM depending on where you're watching this from. If it's on YouTube, then maybe just, there's a link. There are links to connect with us to on Instagram, on YouTube. And yeah, you can just look at any of the links, connect with us, send us your feedback. If you would like us to speak to certain areas as well, you can also share that with us so that we know exactly what to focus on when we're having our next conversation. So, like Grace said, we're going to continue this conversation next week, digging deeper this time into identity crisis, how it happens, what are the causes of it, and how can you manage it as you go on your journey. Thank you again. This is the Energetic EJ, and this is your voice, your impact, because we are firm believers that you have a voice and your voice is meant for impact. And this is our own way of using our voices. And we're hopeful that, every time we show up, every week, we are impacting some level of knowledge and awareness, like she said, to help you live optimally. And with that, I'd like to wrap this up. Thank you for being a part of the conversation today. So we'll come your way again next Monday, same time, 1 p.m. West African time, 4 p.m. GST, live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. This is your voice, your impact, and this is the Energetic EJ signing out.